Welcome back to another edition of Quinte Connection. As the spring weather is officially here, it's been a lovely week here in the Quinte region, and with more people outside joining us on this episode, a couple of people that we're meeting for the first time. So joining us from the Belleville Garden Club is Barb, Hayward, and Chris Green, the co-chairs with that Belleville Garden Club. So ladies, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on kind of pivoting the organization with all the Zoom workshops, as we've been kind of pivoting too. So how has it been over there?
We had a pretty awful year last year, as you can imagine. I think the mindset was that, oh, this won't go on for very long. We'll just have to sort of make plans for a couple of months from now. And of course, that wasn't the case at all. We did have one really fun activity last year that got a lot of our members involved, and that was our Facebook flower challenge. And everybody submitted, well, quite a few people submitted pictures, and we had cash prizes, which is something we don't quite often do. But this year, we've had some really good Zoom meetings, because we bought a license and we shared it out with another community club. So we're all taking advantage of that. What else did we do, Barb?
Yeah, I'm just thinking last year we were prepared. We were all ready for 2020. Our yearbooks were ready. All the speakers were all set aside for our monthly meetings. We had our annual plant sale all lined up, and then, of course, had to cancel everything. So we were pretty much on hold, except for just connecting through our Facebook pages and emails to the members. They were just wondering what was going on. And then January, we thought, let's kickstart this. Let's try some sort of webinar theme. Chris jumped into it, and we ended up getting a Zoom account. Not everybody is ready to ramp up to do virtual meetings, but we are getting about maybe about a quarter of our members to join us on our monthly calls. I think it will get better, though.
Yeah, we're all still slowly adapting here. So Chris, for folks who may not know the long legacy of the Belleville Garden Club, how did this get started?
The club started in 1876. So we're one of the oldest clubs established in Ontario. And this year, in fact, we're celebrating our 145th anniversary. We have some quiet little celebration things going on. And 2026 will be our big year, our 150th, and we plan to, well, I think we're planning on doing quite a few things. We've sort of been squirreling money away every year so that we have a fund. And the Garden Club has been instrumental in the city of Belleville with the gardens in the city. Before the city got big enough to have a parks department, we did a lot of work where Memorial Gardens is now on Bell Boulevard, and I think that's North Park Street. They had vast chrysanthemum plantings, but then the city grew, and they have a really, really dedicated parks department now that we've worked with closely over the last few years. We helped fund Memorial Gardens, the renovation of it, the new pagoda. We've planted tulips to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the liberation of the Netherlands. We donated, I don't know, I think it was about 300 bulbs to the city for that. We've started the Zoom thing, and that seems to be going quite well. We have some really good speakers this year. We actually have a roster full for all our meetings this year, and we have people lining up to talk next year, which is unbelievably not normal.
Yeah, it's a gardening year. This pandemic has just gone crazy with the gardening. It's so great to see. You go up to the local stores, and their shelves are just flying off with plants. So We are looking forward to having a plant sale. We usually do an annual plant sale, and it's a big community event. We do this at the Montrose Inn, and they really get engaged as well, having a bake sale and vendors and other folks, maybe a barbecue going on. So we're hoping to do this, whether it's going to happen in September or we'll have to wait until next year, but we always look forward to that. And that's our biggest fundraiser as well. The money goes into the club to get the speakers. One thing about the Zoom meetings, we have found that we can actually have a speaker from around the world. It doesn't have to be someone local that can come and join us at the secondary school. We actually have our meetings typically at Eastside Secondary. But this year we actually had a Zoom meeting with a woman from New York City Museum, and she spoke to us and showed us a fabulous presentation on Islamic gardens and how they incorporate the gardens into their tile, their rugs, and so forth. So that was very interesting. I think the most fun, though, that everyone does have, of course, they love to go out to the club for the evening and have the social time. We have refreshments and so forth. And it's a challenge to get everybody back to their seats because everybody's enjoying themselves. So we are looking forward to that again. But we do like to incorporate a lot of our local talented gardeners to speak to us.
Yeah, we had one of your speakers that did a Zoom presentation a couple weeks ago on Quinte Connection about succulents and her workshop and her business. But Zoom is where it's at these days. It's great that you're making the most of it as we try to make the most of it too. Zoom meetings coming up from the Belleville Garden Club, May 25th, butterfly tagging and bird banding, and June 22nd, Peter Fuller. So with the butterfly one coming up, how did you get in contact with that subject and also the speaker?
Yes, the bird banding and butterfly tagging should be pretty fascinating. Presqu'île's been hard hit by this pandemic as well. They had to cancel their fall event, which is their big butterfly tagging event, because of the pandemic. I believe that's the Friends of Presqu'île that runs that. And you mentioned Peter Fuller. He's one of our favorites. We have him, I think, every 2 years for one of his topics. This year, he has a really on-target topic, and that is places that you can go that are free, that are in this area, that have garden-related or nature-related subjects. So that should be very interesting as well. We have someone in September coming to talk to us about invasive species in Ontario. And we have in October, we have a local certified, I'm not sure exactly the terminology, but we have a gentleman coming to tell us everything about cannabis and marijuana, the do's and don'ts, the legalities, what you're allowed to do, where you should not shop, where you should shop. And then for our pre-Christmas meeting, one of our sponsors is going to walk us through a centerpiece or an outdoor display for Christmas.
And it is funny that we have, I guess in 2020, we had one meeting only before everything locked down. That was in February, and we had 7 new members that February. But we have since, this year we have 11 new members. So we're coming up to about 90 members overall in the club.
Good to hear. Yeah, for Barb, for those who want to take part in these Zoom meetings and also be a part of the Belleville Garden Club, how does it work these days?
Actually, we do have a Facebook page. You can look at us up, Belleville Garden Club. You can contact us through there. We also have a website, and we keep both up to date with all of our events. Our email address is yourbellevillegardenclub@gmail.com. So we can take emails at any time if you have any questions. Our memberships this year, we did drop it just because of the Zoom meetings and not going out. They're only $10 this year, and for your family, whether it's a husband, wife, or you have others in your family that would like to join, it's only $15 for a family. So that's been helpful as well. Typically, it is only $15 a year for a membership.
Chris, for families out there who are finding, spending more quality time at home, looking at their garden, not sure what to do, what's some of the tips and advice you would give them, especially for people who have thought about expanding their garden but might not just be comfortable about what to plant where?
Ooh, well, I would think if you're not really sure what to do, you can always do stuff in pots. Most stuff will grow in a pot if you don't want to dig up your lawn. But there's lots of advice. There's tons of advice on the web. We also offer a service through the web, through our Facebook page, that if you have an inquiry about a particular plant or a situation, you can send that along to us, and then we'll reach out to all our membership and see if anybody has any ideas of what to do. The garden centers around here are fabulous with advice. Our sponsors, one of our sponsors is Farmgate Gardens. Also, the Village Green, which is Terra Edibles up in Foxborough. They're both kind of Foxborough. And Thrashers downtown. They have staff that are they just have more information at their fingertips than I do, and they have staff who know stuff. So instead of being intimidated by the thought of turning a piece of your garden into a veggie plot or growing gladiolas or something, just go for it, but go and get some good advice from the folks in town here, because we really do have this is such a wonderful area for gardening. All those nurseries and stuff over in the Frankfurt area, there's just so much.
And I guess we're not part of this club because we know everything. We're here to just share our experiences. I think one of the best part of our general meetings are the last part of our meeting. We give everyone an update about the events going on. As well, everyone chit-chats, asks questions about what is this plant? What should I do with this? We were speaking about potatoes, planting your potatoes at our last meeting. So anything they want to bring up, we just, I think that's what people mostly enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for sharing all these tips with us. Once again, the co-chairs of the Belleville Garden Club, Barb, Hayward, and Chris Green. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it, and good luck outside, and hope your gardens are just as good this year as they were last year.
Thanks for having us.